Thanks for staying tuned to your station, the African Independent Television, and welcome to your program. It's another bright and great day, Saturday. We thank God for the life and God keeping us alive, and you doing everything necessary and possible to ensure that you remain law-abiding at all time. This is your program, Security Watch Africa, where we bring you the information you need to keep your life safe and secure. It's another great edition we are bringing to you today. I must congratulate all those that have were promoted and decorated at the force headquarters during the week. We will bring in the report on that decoration later on the program. But you know, as we are getting out of the lockdown of the coronavirus COVID-19, the economy is picking up. People are beginning to get back to their lives and earn a living. There is also a group, another set of people, those who do not work but they want to reap from the people's sweat, the criminals wanting to deprive the innocent citizens of their hard earnings. Security Watch Africa decided to bring to you some security tips you need to imbibe, use to be able to prevent yourself from being kidnapped or robbed or mugged in any way. The tips are on the screen, like you can see. Number one, we're saying is that you must be cautiously friendly with your neighbors. You need your neighbors in case there's any emergency. Two, we said you must maintain a simple lifestyle. There's no need to live loud lifestyle that will make you exposed to criminals. Then you must be vigilant at all times. Be watchful of people around you and the places you go. Number four, we say be careful when receiving visitors into your home, because you never can tell who may be coming with visitors or their intentions. Then number five, we said teach your children and wards not to allow visitors into your home in your absence. It's very, very important, because criminals, they carry out intelligence, find out when you are not at home, and believing that the children are very vulnerable, they want to key on that and come over to attack your home in your absence. Number six, we say be careful when hiring domestic helps. Some of the security issues we have had at homes are from domestic house helps. So we're advising that you must be very, very careful, and be careful when you are hiring them. Number seven, always monitor the activities of your children and the teens, particularly even with relatives and familiar people. Yes, you may say that this is my cousin, this is my uncle, this is my brother. There's no need, but it's very, very important in this era where we're having incessant rapes of minors, particularly. You never can tell. So those familiar faces they may be preying on your children or on your teens. In your home, nominate one person as a security officer and inspector. It could be a child, it could be the mother in the home, or the father, or anybody could be said to make sure that even at night the doors are locked, the windows are locked. Then number nine, we said never give out information carelessly, i.e. your movements should not be given out. Your family, what your family is doing or plan to do should not be given out to people. Your financial dealings must not be given. You must keep all these things secret and private, so you will not expose your family to danger. Number 10, as much as possible, avoid late night outings. If you must go out, be very, very careful, but as much as possible, avoid late night outings. Number 11, we say vary your movements. I do not take the same route all the time, because these criminals, they use intelligence to monitor your movement. They know your style, how you do, and so it's easy for them to close in on you. Number 12, say carefully observe. That must be mistake. Carefully observe anybody loitering on your streets and report strange movements to law enforcement officers. Don't say it doesn't concern me, or if you're driving or walking on your streets, watch people who are there doing nothing and to ensure to report to the law enforcement officers to take action on them. Then number 13, be careful when giving strangers lift. A lot of people are falling victims to robbers or kidnappers by the mere fact of being benevolent or being kind. Number 14, we say be careful with your telephone conversations when in public. This is very, very important. A lot of people talk loud, discuss everything possibly they can discuss when they are in public, but you are putting yourself in danger. Be careful when you're discussing such. Then number 14, avoid display of valuable items when in public. Some want to show off their wealth, but it's very, very risky. as much as possible, avoid those things, because you never can tell who is in the crowd and may put you in danger. Also, number 15, we say avoid leaving valuables in your car. Of course, you must ensure that these things are not exposed to where people can see it, because if the criminals don't see, if they don't know about it, they will not attack. So avoid it. Number 16, avoid using ATMs when it is dark. It is very, very important. We know sometimes emergency may occur at night and you need to get some cash for one thing or the other, but please, as much as possible, avoid going to the ATMs when it is dark, because you never know who is lurking around. Number 17, be alert at all times. You must be alert. It's this, we can never stop stressing it. You must be alert at all times. Then number 18, we say, in addition to all the above, ensure you are sober at all times. You know, many of us sometimes wants to a little bit high. They say, let me be a little bit high or tipsy, but that is your vulnerable moment. Some get drunk and you are at your vulnerable moment. So as much as possible, avoid getting drunk, and so that you can be sober at all time and you don't expose yourself in danger. Yeah, that is from Security Watch Africa to you. We believe if you can imbibe any of this and be prayerful, then you'll be sure that you'll be secured and protected. Yes, like I said at the opening, there was decoration of some of the officers that were recently promoted at the first headquarters. Security Watch Africa have the report.
Monday, the 20th of July 2020 was not an ordinary day at the Nigeria Police Force headquarters in Abuja, as dignitaries, friends and relatives of some of the 6,618 newly promoted senior police officers gathered for their symbolic decoration ceremony. In his address, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Mohammed Abubakar Adamu, congratulated the officers for their well-deserved elevation and charged them to deploy and demonstrate sound professional judgment in their decision-making and in carrying out their assignments at all times.
I hold a firm conviction that all of you, the newly promoted officers seated here, fit perfectly into my human capacity development requirement. And I'm confident that you will deploy your wealth of experience towards supporting the Nigeria Police in the attainment of our mandate, especially at this critical time in our nation's internal security evolution. Let me, however, remind the promotees that to whom much is given, much more shall be expected. Crime, as you know, is a dynamic and increasingly complex phenomenon, and the nation demands of you higher level of loyalty, courage, and professional competence needed to move the Nigeria Police and indeed the nation to the next level in relation to internal security. I heartily congratulate and share the joy of the moment with all the newly promoted officers and their families. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shall continue to perfect your careers and grant you all the courage to sustain and continually exhibit those professional virtues that led you this far in your professional journey.
Leading the pack of dignitaries that attended the ceremony was Boss Mustafa, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, who joined the IGP Mohammed Abubakar Adamu to decorate some of the officers. The visibly impressed Secretary to the Government of the Federation, in his remark, felicitated with the newly promoted senior police officers and promised continued support from the federal government of Nigeria in ensuring that Nigeria is safe.
The work that is before you as a force demands for complete commitment, cooperation, and a new vigor and resilience, because we are dealing with multifaceted challenges that has permeated the entire fabric of our society. What is demanded of you, particularly the new officers that have been given new ranks, is that you must step up your actions, because crime has gotten its own dynamism, and if you do not scale up your actions, you will totally be left behind and be trending after the multifaceted conflicts and criminality that we have in our country. I congratulate you, and I want to give you the assurances of the President that he will always be there for the Nigeria Police Force, because he knows that the entire responsibility as the lead agency for internal security is at your doorsteps.
The senior officers that were decorated include DIG Adeleye Oyebade, AIG Aishatu Abubakar, AIG Amba Asukwo, CP Biodun Alabi, CP Jonathan Towuru, and many others.
Commandant Police College Kaduna, CP General Duties Force CID Abuja, former DC in charge of admin Oyo State Police Command, former area commander in charge of Mushi, DCP Special Protection Unit Force Headquarters, State Command, CP Edu Command, Commandant Police College.
Security Watch Africa spoke to some of the newly decorated senior officers to find out how they feel about their new ranks.
I give glory to God, thank Him for His grace, for His mercy and uncommon favor that have chosen me. It is not by my power, it's by the grace of God.
My promise is to continue to, serve the Nigerian people better, than what I've been doing before. At this level, to whom much is given, much is expected. So Nigerians will expect much from me as a commissioner of police. So I promise that I will not fail them. In any capacity, I will find myself to discharge my duties. So I will discharge my duties diligently to the best of my capability and ability.
From the admonitions to the newly promoted officers by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, and the Inspector General of Police, IGP Muhammad Abubakar Adamu, it is obvious that Nigeria government and the people expect much more dedication and commitment to duties from the beneficiaries of the promotion, which is in line with the saying that, to whom much is given, much is expected. Shekina Chinkere, Security Watch Africa, Abuja.
Yeah, once again, I congratulate those officers who were promoted, and everything has been said. They are charged to do more, and I expect them to do more. Nearly all of them are personal contact with Security Watch Africa. They have been contributors to this program, and we congratulate them for their new job and promise that we'll always be with you at all time. Yes, a lot of people are talking about the need to rethink how the fight against insurgency and terrorism is being carried out. And before this call, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai, had thought about it and established some intellectually based formations for the Nigerian Army to bring out intellectual content that will help and assist in the fight against insurgency and terrorism. One of those establishments is the Nigerian Army Resource Center. Security Watch Africa had an interview with the Director General, Major General Garba Wahab, retired, to find out how is the center contributing to the fight against the insurgency and terrorism in Nigeria. And he spoke on so many areas that affect Nigeria's security. Sit back as we bring you this interview.
The center was established in 2015 to provide research-based solution to the security and defense challenges facing the country. By inference to the Nigerian Army, but to the nation and the world in general. And we also do human resource development by training based on requirements from the services. Globally, what obtains is you allow those who are serving to face the problem of engaging the issue of security and defense, while you have a sort of think tank, various organizations who look at the problems emanating from what they're doing, and how do they solve those problems and provide the way out for them. And it's one of the things that the Chief of Army Staff feel necessary for the Army to have, because it's better to have those who are serving to engage in their various routine activities and allow the majority of those who are retired to start thinking and looking at what are the problems, what are the issues, and how do we solve these problems without necessarily wasting man's time in finding solutions to the problems that are confronting. We've been able to keep at par with the mission and vision set for the center. We can't do it alone, and because of that, we have various collaborations with so many other organizations, both within Nigeria and outside. We do leadership training in strategic environment with our Kennedy School for Advanced Education. We're also collaborating with King's College London, United Services Institute of India, which is about the oldest think tank in India. It was established in 1851, and we have a relationship. We even produced we had a joint publication with USI last year. We got to do on terrorism facing both countries, from the Indian perspective and the Nigerian perspective. So we've been doing well. We train, for instance, we have indigenous languages courses going on. We have run 8 courses. And the need for that was born out of the fact that you have soldiers who are deployed in various parts of the country. And whatever we do nowadays, it is intelligence-led, intelligence-driven. But if you have a soldier who cannot speak a local language where he is operating, he's done. He's not learning anything. And so with this, we've been able to train over 800 soldiers, officers and soldiers. And some other agencies have also joined up. Number one, the center's membership is open to everybody, all Nigerians. We are not limited to only those who are serving in the military. Anybody can be a member. We look through, intervene, and 2, if there are issues, maybe there is a problem that they believe the military should know about. If you believe it's better for us to do research on it on our own, we'll do that. If there is a need to have a workshop or a seminar about it, we'll do that. And whatever the outcome of such workshop or seminars are usually given out in terms of reports to virtually all the stakeholders. We had one towards the end of the year before the COVID came up, and the report went out on the integration and rehabilitation of those who are affected by Boko Haram activities in the Northeast. And we realized there is a major problem with the Nigerian issue. The problem is still ongoing in the Northeast. You can't wait until you accommodate the problem before you start looking for solutions. And so we held a seminar, which was even sponsored by the Swiss Embassy, the Center and Link Foundation. We call it the Northeast Development Commission, which is supposed to be the arrowhead of whatever development is going to take place. When we finish, we sent out a report to virtually all those who need to have such a report, so that at least they have an idea of what we believe should be the steps that should be taken or could be taken to ameliorate the sufferings of Nigerians in the Northeast. It's part of what we do. So we don't only wait for issues to develop within the system. We even listen to others. People write to us, can you please look at this? Can we have a joint publication, write a book on this issue? I will call them in. Let's look at the framework. From what perspective are you looking at this issue? Does it have correlation to the security and defense of Nigeria? Because that's the major cross. We just don't write or we just don't go into an issue. We look at, does it have effect on the security and defense of Nigeria as a nation? Then we move in and look for, okay, who are those that need to be part of this? And we write our letters inviting everybody to come around. Let's come around and look at the solution. Emphasis here is, it's not every time we call it the military. We should be giving more emphasis on non-kinetic solutions to our problems. And that's one of the reasons of the center. It's not a military creation, so it cannot be, the resolution cannot be by the military alone or military force. That's why I said emphasis on non-kinetic. Kinetic is the military, with use of weapon. But let us look at other issues. Even in the Northeast, anywhere you had issue of insurgency or terrorism, the military provides the enabling environment for people to come around and talk. It is not the military that will provide roads, that will provide schools, that will provide hospitals, that will make sure that people take part or participate in the political, socio-economic activities of that particular area. The military will only allow people to feel secure. Okay, there's security, I can go about my business. Nobody can prevent me from doing such. That's what the military will do. But every other thing is not military. So there are so many other lines of operations that could be undertaken by the government. But above all, there must be strategic communication. One of the things that is lacking in Nigeria, which we are trying to emphasize, is that people should know what is actually happening. If there is no communication among all those who are operating or who get to be part of it, then we continue to have issues because everybody will be operating in silos, and that is not able to go about solving any security issues. It is part of what we refer to as either hybrid warfare or fusion war, whichever one you are looking at it. It's a form of warfare. There is information operation. It is part of the information operation, which is part of the overall operation that we conduct. And that is the essence of strategic communication. If you are aware of what I'm doing, and you are aware of what I need from you or what I will do, whoever is coming in with a fake information will have an effect on you, but it will not be too damaging. You can easily control that. But where I don't know what you're doing, and you don't have an idea of my capability or strength or weakness or what I want to do, then there is a massive issue, and the effect could be disastrous on both those who are actually on the forefront and those who are back home. Future war is all about communication. It's all about information warfare, where you want to create as much confusion in the populace, so that they don't really understand what is actually happening. Information moving left, right, center, everybody getting confused, and then denying the military the opportunity of getting a clear effect on the people, and also denying them what is required. The Americans they've invoked laying law on us, they've invoked human rights violation on us. There is CASTRA 2017 Country American Adversary True Sanctions Act, and that's why we paid for Super Tucano, the idea to be delivered. It is part of the warfare. So if you deny the military all the things that they require, and then all these informations are flowing, fake information bombarding everybody, works up everywhere, then those who are behind it are getting ahead of what we're supposed to be doing. And that's the sense of why the center is looking at what do we do to keep on telling people what is happening, keep on communicating to all the other stakeholders so that they are aware of likely effect of this action or inaction. It's such a thing happening. You have to tell the rest of kin. The media and those who operate all these whatever are told, please hold on, let us tell the rest of kin. Let the family or those who are killed, let them be aware first, at least for dignity purposes. They are told, we've lost this person, we've lost your husband, we've lost your son or your brother. They are aware, the corpse are being moved to some place, we need you at point A, B, C to be able to pay your last respect. After that is done, then information will be that the military will release. They will agree, because you can't hide anything. If you don't say it, the adversary comes out and says, we have killed 500. Then what we'll be doing is damage control. And that's what the military has always been advocating. Not reading on newspapers, not reading on WhatsApp or whatever. That's the issue in Nigeria. That's why we're trying to get across a lot of people to say, no. Nobody says you should not report. It must be reported. First and foremost, these guys are Nigerians. And they belong to some families. So the family must be aware. You can't tell the wife of somebody who died not to tell brothers or sisters that I've just lost my husband somewhere. You cannot stop that. So at the end of the day, you can't stop any information from going out. But let us do it. There are processes and ways by which it is done. The reason is because people don't understand the meaning of national interest. When you report such a thing before the other person, what you're doing is not only to that family, but to the lighter military society that look, it means anything can happen and my people will not know, they'll be reading about it on pieces of newspaper. There is that you are not appreciated. It is part of the appreciation. You know, again, I use countries like US and UK. Even mere going to buy something in the supermarket, at least I witnessed that as a captain. I was on course in US, and I went somewhere to the supermarket to buy something. I queued. I said, no, you are too busy to queue. Please move forward, go and buy this. We want you to be ready to do your job. I wasn't an American, and came from Nigeria to study. But that's how they do. But here they tell us, no, everybody must be in the same line. The same Western people will come here and say, no, why are you giving these people all these privileges? But in reality, what they're trying to do is to demystify the emphasis of your own country. So that whatever they want, they can easily get. Because if there is no military, then there is nobody. You need to confound that from what is happening to countries like Somalia today. Somalia, if there is a country in Africa that shouldn't be at the level it is today, it is Somalia. 98.9% of the people are Somalis, 99% are Muslims. The same community, the same whatever. It is the clan or the tribe action that differs. But today, what is happening? So we are lucky to have what we have. But we need to understand that for everything, our national interest should supersede the personal interest. It is part of the non-kinetic plan we're talking about. Follow the money, follow the train. If you don't learn to follow the train, this will continue to be funded and say it's a business. To some people, it's a business. Even the Boko Haram that we're facing, why are they not occupying areas where there is no oil? Why are they ensuring that the Lake Chad Basin area, the area where fish, phosphate, oil are in large quantity, the area, the town where they are controlling. ISIS in Iraq was controlling areas where the oil was flowing seriously. So it is not just an ordinary, it's not a religious thing again, it's not mere social issue. It is.
Welcome back. I really wish we had time to take more of these his comments on these questions that were posed to him. Quite insightful answers he gave there, and we're quite impressed. We must leave for that programs to continue. Until come here again next week, I say thanks for staying tuned and bye for now.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله